consistency, and finishing what you started. Time. How much time are you putting into your craft? I believe you don't lose, you learn. So you just ran out of time. Does that make sense? Like that contest, y'all just ran out of time. But how much time do you think you have before it's over? Right? How you do one thing is how you do everything. Don't matter if you're a damn All-American. Like, you got a job to do, so trust. Y'all not mentally tough because y'all don't trust not only each other, but you don't trust yourself. And you don't trust yourself because how much time you putting in. The ones that put the time in, they trust one another. They believe in themselves. So if y'all believe that y'all can do it, y'all should be going harder. Y'all should be holding one another accountable. Whatever you can do to help this team, that's what y'all need to happen. Everybody can't score. Everybody ain't fast. What everybody can do, what everybody that ever plays basketball should be able to do if they play basketball, they should be able to play defense and play hard. Them are the only two things you can control. Just show hey, who want to play basketball? Honestly, who want to play basketball? All right, who has to play basketball? We just cracked the code. And dudes that y'all play, they gotta get their mom out the hood. The dudes that y'all playing, they living in a trap. The dudes that y'all playing ain't getting no sleep. So I got to get any advantage that I can. So what choices are y'all making? That's the point I'm getting to. Are you making the choice to play defense? Are you making the choice to pass the ball? Hell, are you making the choice to come to practice? And I commend y'all because y'all here in the evening. But guess what? The circle gets smaller. Try out, that circle was big, wasn't it? The circle gets smaller, dog. Everybody don't make it. Good evening. How you doing? This is Coach Carvel Bailey, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Life and Basketball. And here on this show is where we talk about how both the game of basketball as well as life are synergistic and they go hand in hand. And so now on this show, what we do is we speak to and, talk to, chat with, interview basketball players, former basketball players, coaches, former coaches, officials, former officials, as well as those individuals that have been impactful to the game that we call basketball. And so we let those individuals come on and share their story of how Little Orange basketball has oftentimes helped change or even save their life. And so the show is being brought to you by Bless the Ball Consulting Group, right? And this is where we help high school basketball players get recruited, even if they're not five-star athletes. All right. And the show is also being brought to you by Understanding Life Through the Game of Basketball. This is where the show started, right? My first book. And everybody that I bring on, they understand this concept as well as this phrase. And that's why I bring them on, because they understand that sports and life are synergistic. And so this book is not going to tell you how to necessarily run a play, but it will tell you how to manage a team, as well as how to make and create more effective leaders. So I dropped the link to where you can get this book. So this was the first one. The show was birthed off of this book. And then my second book, right, Creating the Perfect Storm. This is more of the mental side, right? Everything that I do, I speak of the game of basketball from the neck up. So many people just talking about playing it from the neck down, but we're talking about from the neck up, right? What things do you have to concentrate on and focus on in order to be your best self and get the maximum output that one can get in their life? And so that's what this book speaks about, creating the perfect storm. Players talk about being in that zone, right? Well, what does it take to be in that zone? And or how do you get yourself to be in that zone, right? And so I dropped both of those links. But tonight I want to get to it, and I want to get to it quick, right? Tonight I'm excited to bring on one of my guys, right? One of my guys, and we'll, get into the stories. But I met this gentleman probably about 3 years ago, and he is, runs an amazing publishing company, but he's from Chicago, right? So he stays in the VA, now, definitely, the East Coast, but he's from Chicago, and we'll get into that, as well. But he mentioned something to me, and we'll get into it within the first 3 or 4 minutes of our conversation. And it really got me to understand that not only is he an expert in his area, but he makes it real practical to how what he does can help you or anybody, right, in an amazing way. So this gentleman, right, that I want to present to some and introduce to most, right, again, by way of Chicago, but lives in Chicago, or from Chicago, but by way of Virginia, right? And so this gentleman is the CEO of Publishing Advantage Group, right? And we're going to get some information, supreme value I'm giving y'all tonight. If you have a story inside of you, and if you want to get it out and share it to the world, this is the person that you want to see. This is the person that you want to get connected to. So with no further ado, I want to introduce and present my man, the publisher, as he's called, Mr. Kelly Cole. Kel, what up, baby? How you feeling?
Me muted. Hold on. There we go. What's up?
How you feeling, my brother?
I am great, man. Honored to be here, my brother.
Absolutely, man. So tell the people real fast, man, who exactly is Kelly Cole? Man, this guy ain't necessarily a basketball coach. Y'all coach in your own right. Not a basketball coach, but I mean, your Jordan collection is probably as extensive as anybody currently in Chicago. But tell us, who is Kelly Cole?
Most definitely, man. So you say I'm not a coach now, but I've coached all of my children's basketball and football teams, man. Won many championships. So I understand the philosophy, like you said, of how basketball relates to life, man.
Yep.
One of the most encouraging things is when you have kids that you coached, when they were teenagers, come back to you and said that they're still living off some of the lessons and the things that you taught them. But yeah, man, going back, born in Cabrini Green. So it don't get no more Chi-Town than that. Born in the row houses, moved to the west side, pretty much grew up on the west side, man. Went to Key Elementary School, Douglas Grammar School, went to Weber my first year of high school, man. Played football and basketball at Weber. My freshman football team at Weber, we won the football freshman championship, man.
Okay.
The cool thing about that, man, was looking forward to going to varsity. And then my dad comes home and tells me we're moving to Virginia. So you can imagine how devastated I was, because I had excelled as a freshman, man. I scored a 70-yard touchdown from the defensive end position. Ooh. Hit a guy, he fumbled, ran a 70-yard touchdown, bro. So we was getting ready to move up to varsity. My dad comes home and said we're moving to Virginia. So devastating, bro. But I always tell people I was a born entrepreneur, man. And started my first business at the age of 6 with my sister in Chicago. We took her table and chairs to the front of the building, took all of the candy out of the house, and we opened up a candy store, man. But since then, brother, I've had 2 clothing stores, 2 restaurants. I used to sell DVDs. I was a barber for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty much if you name, I used to sell newspaper. I was a paper boy downtown Chicago in front of the Opera House, bro. I used to scream out Tribs, New York Times, Sun Times all day. I used to get my bread overnight, man. So Chicago through and through, man. Love the city. Of course, I was there for all of the championships, bro. And man, so just like I said, transition from that, finding my purpose of becoming a publisher, man. So we can get into that more often. But that's pretty much who I am. The publisher, Mr. Kelly Cole. I'm a dad of 3 wonderful children, man, who are amazing, bro. But all in all, love what I do, run an amazing publishing company, and just started this new division, books for athletes. But that's me in a nutshell.
Man, that is amazing, man. So let's go back for a minute, Kel, because I always like to get to the foundation, right? Because I like for people to know, people may say, man, well, why is this person qualified, right? Well, you're the expert in your area, but before we can get into the publisher,
Right.
you were that kid from the row houses,
For
right?
sure. Yeah.
So how did growing up in the Greens, right? How did growing up in the Greens help shape the man that we see today?
Definitely, man. Because I mean, if you come from the Greens, you literally understand coming from nothing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
seeing killing, seeing, not having enough and just wanting to get out, man. And like I said, growing up in Cabrini Green, it made me strong. It made me tough. You
Yeah.
have to survive. Most people don't realize that when I moved to Virginia, they was like, man, you ever had a fight? It was like, yeah, man, in Chicago I had to fight every day. It wasn't a game. It wasn't a choice. You had to
Mm-hmm.
fight. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? So it made me strong, man. It made me disciplined. It gave me that desire. It gave me that hunger to, be successful. So like I said, I've tried everything until I actually found my passion, bro. But, looking up to my dad was actually a basketball player.
Okay.
He went to Weber as well. When he was at Weber, he was eighth. They were eighth in the nation, and he was nominated for McDonald's High School All-American. So
Okay.
yeah, looking up to my dad, who's an entrepreneur, my granddad, who's an entrepreneur, man. So it's birthed in me, man. It's just in me.
Absolutely, man. No, that's big, man. And so, you know, from the Greens, and now, you go to Weber, and
Yeah.
as a defensive end, you talk about the pick six,
Mhm.
and but it's a certain level of responsibility, Kel, to be on that end.
Mhm.
They ain't just putting everybody on that end.
Yeah.
So still with that foundation of that survive, discipline, desire, hunger. What what life lesson did you learn on that end
For sure.
that you still keep with you today? Does that make
Definitely,
sense?
man. Yeah, yeah, most definitely, man. One thing about playing defensive end is you have to always keep contained.
Mm,
Nothing can get outside of you. So it's
mm,
all about being disciplined and having control, keeping your right arm free and pushing everything inside. So as a defensive end, you can get beat. You take one step inside, that tight end can seal you in. But
yep.
as a defensive end, your job is to maintain and keep contained. Nothing gets outside of you. And that's where your help comes from. Pushing everything to the middle, your help
Yep.
comes in. I want to talk a little bit about how I scored that touchdown. It started with, like you said, it started with my mind. Before each game, I would visualize a guy running towards me. I hit him, he dropped the ball, and I run a touchdown.
Mm,
So much so that my coaches and my teammates would ask me what I'm doing. I say, yo, this is how I'm going to score a touchdown. A guy's going to run this way. I'm going to hit him. He's going to drop the ball, and I'm going to run a touchdown. And
absolutely.
he's like, man, really? So they kept seeing me do this before every game, and it
Yep.
never happened. It did not happen until the championship game.
Mm.
Third quarter, the guy ran to my side. I hit him. He dropped the ball. I ran a 70-yard touchdown, flipped in the end zone, and did my dance. And my coaches, my teammates, everybody was crying because they saw what I visualized and what I
Absolutely.
practiced.
Yep.
It manifested.
Yeah, yeah, and um, I don't even like to call them cheap plugs because I ain't a cheap plug, right? But that's one of the things that I talk about in this book, right? The whole visualizing
Yeah,
as athletes, especially as basketball players,
yeah,
right? Coaches tell players a lot of things. Does that make sense? A lot of
yeah,
players get confused because the parents, right? And now, I'm talking to the parents for a second,
yeah.
and then we coming back to y'all coaches. But parents, it's not just about having people talk to your athlete,
Hmm.
because talking is not going to always do it, because now they're just literally hearing a lot of voices.
Right.
It has to be that person that's going to be able to provide tools and strategies
Yep.
that can help them transform
Yep.
into the person that now they need to be. And if you heard Kelly, what you just said, Kel, that now your coaches and teammates are crying,
Yep.
not because of the 70-yard touchdown by the defensive end, but because of the 70-yard touchdown by the defensive end who scored it the way that he told us he was going to score it,
Yep.
So then that goes back to discipline,
Yep.
desire, and hunger.
Yep.
Those things that you learned back in the greens.
Yep.
Because you got to be disciplined, right? Athletes sometimes aren't always disciplined
Yep.
to do the things necessary to get them to that championship, right?
For sure. Yeah, definitely.
It's easy to cut the nets down,
Yep.
right? People saw Brian hit a shot last night, right? And I'm dating this broadcast. They saw Brian hit a shot, right?
Yep.
That looks good. But what about the 3 a.m.s, 4 a.m.s,
Yep.
12 a.m.s, right?
Yep.
That he's in the gym shooting that same shot, Kel. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And he's visualizing it. And something that you said that makes this profound, it's a whole sermon. Nothing can get outside of you. So as a defensive end, nothing can get outside of you. And so we're going here talking about the foundation of Kelly Cole from Chicago to then Virginia, but always the entrepreneur, which means that you really can't be until you be. Like your dad was not able to be an All-American until he first believed that he could be an All-American.
For sure. Yeah.
Right. So when I speak to parents, about getting their athletes recruited, and we talk about being the right recruit, it's about understanding you enough to know that, because that dude didn't come off the end and you like, I don't know if I should hit him. You knew, you like, oh, here it is. Premonition. This is it. And it was nothing at that point was going to stop you from getting to the end zone. As you said, you did a flip, you did your dance.
I flipped in the end zone, did my dance. I had just gotten done watching the Super Bowl shuffle, brother. I had to get it up in the end zone.
And that's amazing, man. And so you have the entrepreneurial spirit. You and your sister, y'all selling, all the candy. You selling paper by the Opera House. Hustling, but understanding that you want something for your own. But now you go to Virginia. But before that, you really now get introduced to the business side of things.
For sure. Yeah. Right? So in Chicago, it was pretty much a hustle. Yeah, man. And moving to Virginia, I was immediately met with adversity because I get here and they got me on the bench. They're not giving me no reps in practice.
Okay. Yep.
I'm coming home every day crying to my dad like, yo, they're not even letting me play in practice. I'm not getting no reps. I'm not getting anything. And he's like, he looked at me, and my dad made me a man. He looked at me and said, look, I don't play football. You play football. So you got to figure out how to make that work. And he said, whoever they put in front of you, when they do put you in, he said, take all of that out on them. And that's exactly what I did. I hit that joker so hard. I started every game after that and won Defensive Player of the Year. My senior year, I broke my foot in the first scrimmage, missed 2 games, came back, led the team in tackles, and got Most Valuable Player of the team with a broke foot the whole year.
That's the desire part.
That's
right.
Nothing was going to stop me, bro.
So now we just talked about the discipline part. From the greens, right? And this is just how it's shaping up from the 3 points that you stated that you got from growing up in the greens, that foundation.
For sure.
So the discipline part, you had to have that in order to visualize and become the publisher, right? Because that's what we're talking about.
Sure.
Now, when you get to the VA, you had to have the desire to continue the discipline, if that makes sense. They ain't playing me, right? So many athletes, they not playing me. Coach tripping, right? Man, this dude or girl ain't better than me.
For sure.
But athletes then lose their desire to even play the game.
For sure.
And a lot of times it's because they're playing for somebody else instead of playing because of somebody else. And you said, which is profound, your daddy said, I don't play football. Technically, he's a basketball player. Now we know that, right? But you play football. Right. So you're playing football for you. And I tell parents, your athletes can play basketball because of you or something bigger than them.
Yep.
But they should be playing for themselves.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's no more desire. Does that make sense? Right?
Yep.
Like so parents, hear me out. They should be playing for themselves, right? Mm-hmm. But because of somebody else.
Definitely.
And so now football is over, right? Well, let's get to the hunger part, because not a hard start. You ran into adversity and you learn how to deal with desire, but now the hunger starts, right? Mm-hmm. Because now, literally, as a grown-up and as a family man, you got a wife and kids that got to eat.
Yep, for sure.
Where did the publishing come into play?
Yeah, man. So interesting story. So I actually did get a partial scholarship to college to play football. And in college is where I realized I didn't love football as much as I thought I loved football.
Mm-hmm.
It was a totally different level. And my dad tried to tell me, he played college basketball.
Yeah.
He said, listen, son, when you go to college, that little MVP trophy doesn't mean anything. And he was absolutely right. Every freshman in my dorm was the most valuable player at that high school.
Everybody got him.
It meant nothing. And literally is when I figured out, man, this ain't what I don't love this. This ain't what I'm supposed to be doing with the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. Came home about a month later. My girlfriend, who ended up becoming my wife, ended up getting pregnant with my first son. So what you do then? I get a job. I ended up working at Blockbuster and Walmart. I was working 2 jobs, literally.
You're dating yourself, Kel. You're dating yourself.
Yeah,
Walmart.
Man.
Blockbuster. No,
we look good though.
Yes, sir.
So man, working 2 jobs to take care of the fam, but always knowing that I'm called to more. So I would literally be reading. I would literally be, researching, trying stuff. I was a DJ. I used to DJ weddings. I used to take pictures. I used to be a videographer. I was always looking for that thing I was supposed to do. And I found it one Sunday afternoon in Books A Million. I came across this magazine called Millionaire Blueprints. And there was a guy on the cover in a drop top Benz, and the caption read, "Web Made Millionaire." And I don't know if you're like me, bro. When you get a magazine, most of the time we just read it in the store and put it back.
Right, put it back, yeah.
Listen, this was an $8 magazine, and I bought that back.
You had to buy that joker.
So I bought it, started reading it. At that point, I immediately knew that I wanted to quit my job and start a business on the internet. Didn't quite know what I wanted to do. I literally punked out for a year, came home and watched the movie Pursuit of Happiness. You ever watch Pursuit of Happiness?
Absolutely. Used to watch it all the time, man. It still get me.
Yep. So by the end of it, I'm crying. And I
absolutely
tell them, listen, I said, if I end up sleeping in the bathroom with my family like Chris Gardner, when I go to work on Monday, I'm quitting.
Yep.
I go to work on Monday. They said they want to, they call me to the office. Now, it's one thing to quit and it's another thing to get fired. So immediately when they called me to the office, I got scared and I said, man, they finna fire me. So I go there. They tell me they want to send me to Arkansas for a week to a shareholders meeting, right? I walk into the Arkansas Razorback Stadium, and guess who's walking towards me, bro? Chris Gardner, the guy Will Smith played in Pursuit of Happiness.
Get out of here. See, I'm thinking Nolan Richardson, but okay, Chris Gardner.
Chris Gardner, the guy Will Smith played, he's walking towards me. So immediately I know this is confirmation I need. When I get back, I'm quit. So I get back, I quit. When I quit, I have one product on the internet and I'm selling one a week and it's selling for $25. So you tell me how I took care of a whole family making $25 a week, bro. We couldn't pay rent. We was barely eating, bro. It was tough. It wasn't until ABC introduced Shark Tank. I fell in love with the show. I started taking notes from the show. One of my friends asked me to borrow my notes. And when they gave them back, they said, yo, this will make a great book. And you should actually interview the sharks. And I was like, I didn't even think about that. Sent all of the sharks an email. Barbara Corcoran hit me back. She was the only one to respond. We did an interview. We hit it off so well. I asked her to help me get an interview with Damon John. She put me and Damon John in a group text. She was like, Damon, get this guy an interview. He's a great guy. Damon immediately responded. We did the interview. I took both of those interviews, my notes from the show, turned into my first book that came my first #1 bestseller. And my publishing company was birthed because my inbox was flooded with people who wanted to publish books. And I was like, man, this is what I'm supposed to do. So it took me a year to become profitable and find that thing that I was supposed to be doing. And that's where my publishing company was birthed, bro.
Let me ask this question, man. And that's an amazing story, man. I got chills just listening to it. And I'm pretty sure that the listeners and the people that will watch this want to know, what was that first product?
Man, believe it or not, it was a basketball product. So in the meantime of me trying to figure out what I wanted to do, when And One Street Ball was hot, remember that? Hot Sauce and all those guys. I put on a street ball tour. I booked those guys to come to my area, and I put on 2 successful street basketball games.
Wow.
So what I did was I created an audio product that told kids how to book the players and put it on their own games. And that's what it was. It's called Street Ball Moneymaker.
Street Ball Moneymaker. Okay.
Yep.
$25. You were selling that for $25, selling about one a week.
Yeah.
And then you get introduced to Shark Tank. Now I want to go over that. I don't want to zoom past that so much, man. But Shark Tank is really a class if people pay attention to it.
For sure.
Like it's literally a course, on negotiations, sales. I mean, it's so much, that you can learn from Shark Tank. And it also tells me that watching TV, because you get these gurus, man, you got to grind and don't watch TV and don't, it was some good behind you watching TV, because now you're taking notes, and now even in your discipline, your desire, right? The discipline to still be taking these notes, to still be doing something to get you to where you want to be, that you already have visualized that you want it. Because I'm pretty sure, same way you visualize that touchdown, you was visualizing where you and your wife and your kids would be also. Definitely. And so now, in terms of, again, I'm gonna put it to basketball. People say like, hey, email coaches and just do that. But I'm pretty sure you had to have a strategy. You ain't just send just no email, right? I'm pretty sure you had a strategy as to how to get somebody to open the email, what was in the email that was going to make you stand out.
For sure.
And talk about the difference in being hungry and thirsty. Because I don't think people really understand the difference in those two words, Kel.
Yeah. So the easiest way to break that down, bro, thirsty rhymes with desperate. So if you're thirsty, you can come across as desperate.
Absolutely.
Hungry means that I have a desire. I have a strong desire for whatever it is that I want. And that means I can share with my brother. We both can be hungry and I can share. If you thirsty, you want it all. You trying to share, you come across desperate. So I didn't come across desperate. I presented myself in a way, say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. I would love to interview you for this book. Point blank period. I wasn't thirsty. I was hungry. I had
hungry. Right. And you being hungry.
Yep.
And understanding that, right? Because I'm pretty sure your guy that asked you for it, he had a sense of hunger also. But now you're willing to continue serving, right? Going back to Chris Gardner, right? You know what I'm saying? If you watch the movie Pursuit of Happiness, he's serving
for sure
while he's going through what he has to go through to become the person that we now know to be Chris Gardner.
For sure.
So you give up what we now know as intellectual property.
For sure.
And what, we're going to get into with coaches, because coaches have a lot of intellectual property, but you gave your intellectual property away to somebody that you trusted, but then they saw the value in it.
Yep.
And help give you that push, right? So when we're speaking to parents or even coaches,
for sure,
you have to be mindful of who you're around.
Yep.
To where you're not afraid to share with them, one, what you're doing.
Yep.
but to be afraid to share with them because you think they're gonna steal your spotlight. Because in the basketball sense, that's why some people don't pass the ball to somebody else. Oh man, they already in the paper. Oh man, they scored enough. Oh, they got theirs. I got to get mine. Right? And the big thing is, with if you talk about AAU or just the way basketball is going now, it's all me, I. Yeah. Right? And I don't want to. I got to get mine. I don't want to take away. But now your boy put you in tune. Now I give you an idea. You run with the idea, so you take immediate action, and now you get hit back, and then you get a coattail blessing because now Barbara like, hey Damon, boom, boom, boom. So talk about relationships now, Kel, right? Like coaches that coaches may want to cuss referees out. Some coaches don't like other coaches. Some man, they stealing my players or whatever, or even parents, right? Athletes, I tell athletes all the time, don't big time a coach, man. I only want to go Division I, but man, I don't want that, right? If you now, I'm gonna go on a limb. I don't know, but did you and your boy go to college together?
No, so I actually met them and it was actually a female. So it was a female friend that I met at a conference in Atlanta.
Okay.
And that's how we became friends. They invited me to a mastermind group, and I met a group of people. But relationships are very important. Yep. If you watch Pursuit of Happiness, the relationship that we watch the entire movie is between a father and a son. Absolutely. Now, this is a part of the movie that most people miss. If the start of the movie, Will is walking with his son. Well, Chris is walking with his son, right? Yep. And his son is trying to tell him stories, tell him jokes. But Chris has so much on his mind that he's not even connected to the son. Yep. He can't engage with him. If you fast forward to the end of the movie, they end the movie with him and his son walking. Now they're able to engage, and he's able to laugh and pay attention to the son. Most people miss that part. Going back to what you said, if you're not paying attention, if your student or if your child, if your player is actually enjoying what they're doing, you're not in tune. You're not plugged in, especially as a coach and as a parent. It's one thing that I'm thankful for is that when each one of my kids, I've been so, in tune and connected, and I wanted to figure out what their thing was, which made my son. He's a professional Christian recording artist. Mm-hmm. That's all he's ever done since 4 years old. Mm-hmm. I looked over, I saw him rapping my brother's Christian lyrics, and I said, he got something. I wrote his first rhyme at age 4, and at 21, that's all he has ever done.
Yeah, he touring the world. Yeah.
Touring the world. He's shutting arenas down. Like he getting calls every day, getting booked. He's at back-to-back #1.
Yeah, he won a major award, didn't he?
He won a Dove Award for Best New Artist, which is a Christian Grammy Award. But it takes that being in tune with your player, with your kid, with your team, to figure out and engage. Are they actually having fun? Are they enjoying what they're doing? Is this what they're supposed to be doing? Because that's what you need to be pushing, not what you want them to do.
Absolutely. So now, right, we talked about Hungry and Thirsty.
For sure.
And now that took you to your first book. The publishing company was birthed.
Yeah.
Let's get into the meat of this thing.
For sure.
And you've been doing this for a while, right?
Yeah.
In the ad, you was with somebody about 10 years ago that I know real well to today, Mr. Collier.
Who's that? Say it one more time.
Hold on. Let me see if I can hear you.
You went out. You're muted. It shows that your mic is muted right now.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, Otis Collier, June Collier.
Yeah, you know Otis.
Yeah,
he's a part of that mastermind group that I was.
Yeah. So speaking about mastermind, right? Getting right into the whole publishing thing. You and I met because we were really at a mastermind, right? We were at a mastermind when you and I first met, and then going even further, right? You've connected with the #1 motivational speaker in the world, right? Dr. Eric Thomas, right? I've, connected and partnered with him, as well. So masterminding and professional development, personal development, we talked about being to where you want to, right? You got to be who you are, but before you can get there.
For sure.
a lot of coaches may watch TV, and I'm not exactly sure, but they have a lot of coaching clinics and everything. Can you talk about, before we get into why they need a book?
Yeah.
Why do we need professional development and personal development?
Yeah, I'll say it this way. If you could obtain and have everything you want, being who you are right now, you would already have it.
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again. I don't want that to go past people.
So if you could have and be whatever it is that you want to be or whatever it is that you want to have, if you could do that being who you are right now, you would already have it.
Absolutely.
So it takes all of us. We have to grow. We have to, reprogram ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Being in Chicago, I had a survival mode about me. I had to survive. And it's something that you can't turn off. Tell you a funny story. When we first moved here, we were walking into the grocery store. Truck backfired, and guess what? My whole family, we get down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They was looking at us like
that's real. Yeah.
That's
real.
Get down where we from. There's no truck backfiring. So it takes that, bro, in order to get to the next level. And if any young person or any young parent, if I can give you a cheat code to life, invest in coaching, invest in personal development, and actually pay to get in some of these rooms, because I'm telling you, it will transfer your life. Being connected to, Dr. Eric Thomas, who endorsed that first book, Conversations with Sharks. He endorsed it by me just simply being a part of the community and getting up with him at 3 a.m. Some of y'all don't remember Ustream, but I should get up with E at 3 in the morning on Ustream. He would literally cut it on, and we would be on there, and he would just be on there talking, answering questions, and, just feeding us, because it was in that period where I was hungry still. I had just, like I said, I had just started taking the notes, and then I was just like, I'm just gonna ask him. I was like, E, will you endorse my first book? This is my first book. This is what it is. It was like, man, shoot it over. I shot it over, man, and he endorsed it, man. So it's a blessing. We all need personal development, whether you think you do or not.
And I always tell parents, when I'm on live, and I always say this, and it's not an arrogant thing, but if they think so, who cares? But it's like, if your coach doesn't have a coach, find another coach.
Definitely.
Because how can someone pour into you if they're empty?
For sure.
And at some point in time, if we're pouring, we're going to get empty. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to, if we're not coachable,
for sure,
how can we coach other people? And one of the first things that you said to me, and I said we'll get into it, you was like, man, Carvel, like what you have. And he was like, and you got a book, you was like, what you have and what you do, you need to go around the country and do it. Right. And you're the first person that said that to me. And I was like, man, and you said Jesus wasn't even welcome in his own home. Right. Or, well, not necessarily welcome, but he had to go someplace else for people to appreciate him. Right. And now my man here, right, clutching stick. Right. So he's on the West Coast, but he's from Chicago too, right? So we, he's watching on YouTube, but we, talk, and a lot of times we can become something else, but if the environment we're in is not changing, it's hard for now the environment to see the new you. Does that make sense? Right? So athletes want to improve, but they're still in the same environment, and oftentimes mentally. They can go to the gym 3-4 hours a day working on their moves, but if they aren't improving mentally, understanding the game, improving their confidence, none of that will happen. So they have to be around people that have goals, dreams, and aspirations of getting to another level also. So that then they can now, it's easier to now start to become what's around you, because if you don't, you're going to become what's around you.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And so now the first thing that you told me, man, you said, this is your business card. Speak to the coaches, and coaches have books inside them, but parents also have books inside them. Why do parents have books inside them, Kelly?
Definitely, because their parents, you have life lessons. One of my biggest regrets is that I didn't spend enough time with my grandfathers while they were living to
Mm,
learn their story, to get their wisdom. So,
mm,
parents, if you're not thinking about doing it for you, think about your grandchildren, your
mm,
children's children, all of the wisdom that you can pass down to them. So, it's one thing to say, "Hey, I wish I knew now what I knew then," and you know how we say that. But if you can
yeah.
think about it from this aspect, if you can hand your grandchild your playbook, hey, this is the cheat code, this is the
Mm,
playbook. Just
mm.
imagine how advanced and what it'll do for their lives. So that's my whole thing about a parent writing a book. You can literally do this for your children, for your children's children. And a coach, I've never met a coach without a playbook.
Mm,
I've never
absolutely.
met a coach without a playbook. And a coach
Not a good
always,
one.
yeah,
Not a good one.
not a good one, definitely. So most definitely not a good one, right? So I always say this too: a coach or a speaker without a book is like a business without a cash register.
Mm,
Come on. You know, I'm gonna say it one more time. A coach or
yeah,
speaker without a book is like a business without a cash register. You're not gonna always be coaching. You're not going to always be coaching. You're going to need to
absolutely.
transition into stuff. And if you got all of these, like you said, all of this stuff inside of you, all of these life lessons, all of this wisdom inside of you, you're selfish for not sharing them with the next generation. I told you at my
Mm,
work, at my bottom, I shared my notes with my friend,
yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
led to something else, which
yeah.
led to me birthing a whole company out of that. So if you have all of this, every coach, I guarantee you, you have your own philosophy, you have your own plays, you have your own wisdom that you can pass down to your players and pass down to your grandchildren and your children's children. And you're selfish if you don't share it.
Mm, yeah, that's big, man. I've never heard of it that way.
Mhm.
That you're selfish, but I like that because it makes it personal for everybody. You know,
For sure.
if it's cookbooks, right? If it's how
Yep.
to books, what self help books, whatever it may be, if you know, if
Yep.
you've went through that, because ultimately, what I tell parents, this is 28 years of experience
Yep.
and about 90 pages.
Yep.
It's about 28 years of experience and about 75 pages.
Right.
You're
And
not going to get that return on investment like that.
not at all. That's the cheat code. That's the
Yeah.
cheat code right there. If you know what I'm saying, that's the cheat code right there. The playbook, man. You giving them the playbook and the tools for life. You
But
know,
I don't know how to
beyond.
write a book, coach. Like Coach Kelly, I don't know how to write a book. Yeah, I'm a coach. I've been coaching all these years.
Yep.
I got all these plays. I've coached all these different players. I got all these stories from different
Yep.
parents, different, different people we've played against, like all these stories, right? Like me, I can tell you that in high school playing, I beat Ronnie Fields
Mm.
as a freshman in the
Mm.
Christmas tournament. They were ranked number one. We were ranked number 8, and we played first round of the Christmas tournament. We beat them.
Right.
Now, fast forward 3 years later, Ronnie Fields is a junior, right? Well, 2 years later, he's a junior throwing the ball off the backboard to Kevin Garnett, right?
Right.
As a player. As a coach, my team beat Derrick Rose
Mm.
and Simeon team.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
got all these stories, coach, but how do, like, I got so much. How do I, okay, you saying that, okay, get a book. You're a publisher, right?
Exactly.
You on Coach Carvel's show. I'm watching it. Y'all making it sound easy. He got 2 books. You're a publisher. But how do I get started?
It's easy. I'm gonna tell you how to get it done this weekend. I'm gonna tell you
Yep.
how to get it done this weekend. Okay, tomorrow's Friday. All right. All I
Yep.
want you to do tomorrow, I want you to write a list of those stories. Just write a list. I don't want you to write the story. I just want you to write a list. So if the first thing on the list is beating Ronnie Fields as a freshman, that's the first thing on the list. Second thing on the list, right?
Yep.
You want to put how you beat Derrick Rose as a coach. So just make a list of those stories. That's all I want you to do. Okay.
Yep.
Next thing I want you to do is write down 5 questions under each story. That's all I want you to do. 5 questions someone would have about that story. That's all I want you to do. All right. That's all I want you to do on Friday. On Saturday, I want you to hit up Coach Carvel or your best friend and say, listen, I want you to interview me and I want you to ask me these questions. All right. And you can talk. So if you can't write, every coach can talk or you wouldn't be a coach. I want you to ask one of your friends to interview you and ask you the questions and record it. Get on a Zoom call, record it on audio or either video, or you can go to freeconferencing.com. That's all I want you to do. Get your friend to interview you and ask you the questions and tell the stories. Just like you're talking to your friend, just tell the stories. All right. It's going to be recorded. On Sunday, all I want you to do is take that recording and I want you to upload it to a site called rev.com. That's rev.com. rev.com. Upload it there. They're going to transcribe it and turn it into Word for $1 per minute. And guess what? Monday morning when you wake up, they're going to have you a Word document in your inbox and bam, your book is done. That's when you come to me. When you come to me, we're going to take that document, we're going to edit it, format it, design your book cover, and distribute it for you. But you have literally wrote your book over the weekend. That is simple. If you're a coach and you ain't got time to type, you can talk. Did I break it down for him, bro, or did I break it down for him?
Man, in less than 2 minutes, man. So much to where let's go back over these key points, man. So one, write a list of stories, right? For all the coaches, even all the parents of athletes, right? You have stories, right? You can help the same way that I'm helping y'all, right? The same way I'm helping y'all, and I'm serving. You can help somebody, right? Sure. And Kelly, I'm pretty sure that you've heard this and you probably use this, but to teach is to learn twice.
Yep.
Right. So as you're teaching now, you learn it twice, but once you're gonna write a list of stories, right? And now they're gonna do that when you say Friday, right? Tomorrow.
Friday. Write your list of stories and write
so that's one. And then two, now you're gonna write down 5 questions under each story, right? Yep. Now these questions are what type of questions?
That you would think someone would ask about that story.
Okay. Yeah.
If you can't come up with 5, don't overcomplicate it. If you're gonna come up with 1, come up with 2. Just tell the story. Period.
Just tell the story.
That's
just
all
tell
you gotta
the story.
Do.
Boom. Yeah. There you go. And then the next step is ask a friend to interview you.
Yep.
Those questions.
And now
this can be audio or video. It
audio
don't matter.
Video. Don't matter. That's all you need to do. Have a conversation with your friend.
Have a conversation with your friends of the story that you put together.
Yep. Simple. Telling them the stories.
Simple. Yeah. And then you're going to upload it to rev.com. Is that correct?
Yep. rev.com. Just upload that audio or video file to rev.com. They're going to transcribe it for about $1 per minute. And then Monday morning when you wake up, it's going to be in your inbox. It's going to be a Word document with your whole book in there. Basically, if you telling your stories.
Now, $1 a minute, the interview, right? Okay, so if the interview is 20 minutes long, is $20.
About $20.
Yep. Okay. Is it a standard length? So let me ask this question. Do people still read like novels? Are they as, I mean, I got a 83-page book, Kev, and I got a 70-page book, right? I got an 83 and a 70-page book. Do people still read 300-400-page books?
It depends on your target market. So those are novel readers, older ladies, and they read novels and romance novels and mystery novels and things like that. If you're creating a book like what we're talking about creating, 150 pages, no more than 150 pages, or right around where you are is the sweet spot. That's the sweet spot where people will actually consume your content. All right. 60 minutes of audio will equal about 10,000 words. 60 minutes of audio.
60 minutes of audio. Okay.
About 10,000 words, which will get you around, depending on how it's formatted, 75 to 80 pages in the book, which is where you are in that sweet spot. So,
and it is, and it's consumable.
It's consumable, which is what you want. You want the athletes, you want the students to be able to consume that. Consume that content and not be intimidated by it. A 200, 300 page book can be intimidating to a student or to your target audience, which is
but not only could like intimidating to the reader, I think it's intimidating to the author too. You know, I hear so many people say, I want to write a book, but now they're looking at this elephant like, man, how do I write this textbook?
Yeah.
Right. But it's, you know, we're in the age of even ebooks now.
Correct.
It's really getting the information. And so going back to you saying, man, this is your business card.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So think about it like this. A business, if you have a business or even if you're promoting yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, and I've never thought about this. I just got this idea as we're talking right now.
Yeah.
Say if there's an athlete right now that's trying to get recruited, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody else is making highlight tapes. And like you said, they're doing emails and stuff like that. Just think about if you created a book with your stats, with your stories, with pictures of your family, you on the cover, your career, talking about you. And not only did you send the email and the the highlight, you actually send that coach a book, right? Think about how that separates you from the crowd. All right. Coaches, I don't care. We get millions of business cards and things like that, 4x6 glossy handouts. Business cards and flyers go in the trash, but a book they'll never throw away. And I'm going to prove that. I don't care how many times you have moved. If you got a bookcase full of books you have never read, you pack all of those books up and you take them to your next destination. And you put them back on the bookshelf. Even if they don't make it to your house, you take them to the Salvation Army or the Goodwill, but you do not throw books away. And it's a higher perceived value. The book is the new business card, and it's going to separate you from the pack. It's going to separate you from what everybody else is doing. Guaranteed.
Well, yeah, and I mean it'll definitely, and you know what we help our clients with at Who's Master University is, you know, how to, it's not just email the coach, just, you know, bombard the coach, because as a college coach, I got tons of emails.
Yeah.
And I did my best to open a lot because I didn't want to miss a diamond in the rough.
Right.
But why should I open it? What's going to make you stand out? What's going to make me say, oh, this person is different, right? And even to understand, am I getting an athlete or am I getting a student athlete?
For sure.
Right. So now those things separate what everybody, where everybody else is sending coaches to huddle. Here, get this username, get this password, whatever. Well, now I'm giving you everything that you need.
Right.
To recruit me, not everything that that other people saying I gotta give, but everything that you as the coach need to know about me. Go ahead, Kel.
Exactly. And you can put all of that in the book. And also, how can we integrate technology? You can also put a QR code in there that takes them to an actual video. So think about how you're stepping outside of the box. And like I said, this is an amazing idea. I hope somebody uses this, what we're giving out, because nobody is doing it. And just
we gonna use it, Kel. I'm telling you right now, me and you gonna use it. All right, I'm telling you right now.
and think about this too. If a coach comes to you on a recruiting visit, instead of, like you said, leaving empty-handed or with the business card, you give them a book. You give them something to consume on the plane.
Because they giving you something.
Yep.
They're going to give you a school pamphlet, something, read this.
Exactly.
But what type of, and we always talk about personal value level, what type of value can you afford them that's not going to make the coach say, I'd be a damn fool if I don't get in tune with this person. You know, like I'm a damn fool, you know, and it also shows, one, the creativity, but also now that you can think outside the box and it's bigger than basketball. Right. So even those coaches, this should be writing books.
For sure.
It's the same blueprint for the coaches. What can, if you're at one school, I'm at another school, and now I come, I got my business card, I'm gonna give you the school pamphlet.
Right.
And now you come and you're giving me something personal and practical about who I'm going to possibly be playing for.
Right.
You know, this is a slideshow, you know, your family, just, you know, this story in a short, you know, sense, why you're a good fit for them, you know, how you can help them. You got a story to tell.
For sure.
And as you just said, Kel, it don't have to be 300-400 pages.
Not at all.
But we just have to be able to change the game. And as you said, if we don't do it, now we're selfish because it can go on and on and on forever, almost like perpetuity.
For sure.
Because you made it for the coach.
Yep.
But your kids and your grandkids can see it somewhere down the line too.
Exactly.
That same, imagine if your dad had the system that we talking about here.
Yep.
And it wouldn't have mattered. Now, as you go to the VA and you had to deal with the adversity to become the publisher.
For sure.
But now you could have sent something ahead of you.
For sure. Yep. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. I could have sent something ahead and that would separate me so they know what they getting. They didn't know they had, a guy that had determination, wasn't going to let nobody get outside of him. They didn't know I knew how to held that end down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So no, that's great, man. Now, why do I need a publisher, right? And so, me personally, right? Yeah. So I published this one. I got a little smarter, in my own way. And my kids are the publisher of this one.
Awesome.
And so, in my mind, carrying on that legacy, right? Yeah. They can start getting residuals, and they have no idea why they're getting residuals. But why, if I can go on Lulu or Amazon, CreateSpace, and publish my own book,
for sure.
What's really the benefit of having a publisher like yourself? How can you really help me? Obviously, you know the blueprint because you just gave it to us in 5 steps.
Sure. Yep.
Why is it beneficial for me to have a publisher, especially if they're not going to give me a book advance?
For sure. So one thing, first of all, without a platform, you're not going to get a book advance. All right.
Okay.
What's great about starting off with a publisher like myself is we create a system. We have a system that is done for you, self-publishing. So doing it all yourself, you've got to find your own editor. You got to find somebody to format it. You got to find somebody to design the cover. You got to know what the templates are. You got to know the correct sizes. You got to know how to upload it. You got to know all of these things before you even get to the point where you even get the proof. You don't even know that the same formatting for paperback is the same formatting for ebook. It's 2 different things. Different, iTunes take a different formatting. The Nook has a different formatting. Kindle has a different formatting. All of these different things. I already have the team. I already have the system. All you have to do for us is deliver the manuscript. And let me shortcut that. You don't even have to deliver the manuscript. I got writers on my staff that will actually interview you and write the story for you. So we are a one-stop shop and plus the main thing is you still keep all of your rights and all of your royalties. A traditional publishing deal where you get an advance, you're signing over your rights, and that advance is probably all of the royalties you're going to get. Period.
Yeah.
And the good thing, if that is your desire to get one of those, you can start with this type of publishing, create some noise, build your platform, and then you can get a call from a traditional publisher because you have built your platform with this book. And guess what? Because you have a platform now, you got better negotiation skill. You're probably going to get more of an advance than coming to them with nothing.
And that's good, right? And that's right. You got to have a platform in order to get it advanced. So if people think I'm about to write this book now, I'm about to get this huge advance, no, you got to have a platform. But what I heard you say, right? Because you gave us step 1, you gave us step 2, you gave us step 3, you gave us step 4, right? And you basically told us how long it should be. But coming to you, y'all gonna take us all the way through, or really all the way to step 3 in the door, because you got writers. So the writer's gonna write the stories based off what I'm telling them. So basically, coming to you, all I gotta do is talk a little bit.
That's it. All you got to do is set up a call with my writers and tell your story. And not only, this is another reason why you come to a publisher like myself, because you not only get publishing and writing, you're going to get the marketing piece. I got 15 years expertise on how to hit that bestsellers list, how to use that book to get speaking engagements, how to get more clients, how to, attract more athletes, you know what I'm saying? How to get more coaches' attention with that book. You're going to get all of that when you come with a publisher like me versus trying to figure it out on your own. This is a gift and this is a passion. This is something I can't explain. Just like you said, just like LeBron has got his reps in at 3 or 4 in the morning, I've got my reps, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, 15 years of doing this. I can publish a book with my eyes closed. Like I know this, and I know book marketing, and I know speaking. I know all of it. I know everything about it.
Yeah, well, man, you gave it to us in less than 2 minutes, really, the blueprint. But now, okay, coaching is competitive, right?
For sure.
Athletics is competitive.
For sure.
You're the expert in this field, and I'm gonna ask you this question in full transparency, because regardless if you're in real estate, if you're in childcare, we're just on this platform speaking to high school athletes, right? Parents of high school basketball players and basketball coaches. But who's ever listening or whoever will get a hold of this, everybody got a story to tell.
For sure.
But as a coach, are you telling me that I kind of make myself more marketable when I go to apply for a job if I have a book?
Yep. Because let me ask you this. How do you spell authority, right? You can't even spell authority without spelling author first. Becoming an author automatically separates you from the pack. It automatically transfers the credibility of who you are.
Yeah.
Because you're walking in and you're not leaving a business card like other applicants. You're actually giving them a book where they can read from you. The first thing they teach you about marketing is people buy from people they know, like, and trust. What better way for them to know, like, and trust you without handing them a book where they can understand your philosophies? They can see the picture of your wife, your children, your dog, and get to know you versus this piece of paper, a business card like everybody else is leaving with them.
Yeah, that's good. So you can't spell authority without first spelling author. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like that. Now, okay, so it can help make me more marketable if I'm going looking for a job.
Yeah.
If I'm an athlete, it can make me more marketable, right? Even if I'm a parent, realtor, regardless, whoever it is, it can make me an authoritative figure.
For sure.
Books may only sell for anywhere between $9.97 and $29.97.
Right.
I want to be a millionaire.
How
am I even going to get to 6 figures if I'm just selling $10 to $30 products? After all, you were selling a $25 product once a week. So how do I get to them 6 figures just selling the book? What is that like? How do I now use the book is that all I can do?
Great question, brother. Great question. You're asking the perfect question.
Lives, Kel. I told you I'm going to throw you lives all day.
Hey, listen to me. So remember what we told you. The book is the new business card. So basically, the book is just the marketing tool to introduce people to you. All right. Now, what can you do with that book? Every book, I tell the people who come to me, you should have a call to action at the end of the book that gets people into your funnel. Now, what can you create from your book? You can create a coaching program or training program that you can sell from anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000, right? All right. Let me back up. Let me simplify that for you. All you're going to do is be teaching the principles inside your book on a one-to-one basis. All right. Now, how can we shortcut that for somebody who's watching this and they say, hey, I never thought about that. I already got a book. How can I get started? All you got to do is create a private Facebook group, get you a payment link and says, hey, I'm now creating a coaching program. Join, and it's $3,000. You know what I'm saying? You get people to sign up. That's how you get to six figures fast. If your program is $10,000, all you need is 10 of them to become a six-figure author, right? Now, let me back up and say this too. You can make six figures selling a book. All that is $300 a day. How many books is that if your book is 20 bucks? I know right now, by me having a book, if everything falls down because I have a product, I can go stand in front of Walmart and sell 15 books in a day. That's 300 a day. That's six figures a year. You got hand-to-hand combat. Once you get a book, you got a product to sell. And now, where can you sell that product? You can set up and ask places like restaurants, can you come sell your book? Think about where your target audience is going to be. There's AAU tournaments every weekend. If you got a book, guess what? You can rent a booth out, become a vendor, and set up your book right there and sell your book and make over 300 in a day. I guarantee. Think about how many teams are at AAU tournaments. Coaches, if you got a nice packaging, coaches are buying your book for their whole team. Right? So I got clients who are selling their books by the bucket, 50 and 100 at a time, to boys and girls clubs, to nonprofits, to all these different kind of places who have resource budgets to purchase resources for the students and for the players.
So it's all about, man, really one, perspective.
For sure.
And then having a plan.
Yep.
And then having a coach that can help you get there.
Point blank, period. We got it. That's why you come to me. That's why you come to get our system. We have everything in place to take you from the book to the coaching program to the course, which will add six figures to your packet. And we show you how to do it. We've done it numerous times over and over again.
Yeah. And you know, again, you've given them the steps to be able to do it on their own. You know, I get on, you know, I was on earlier, you know, that we're constantly giving out value, right? Giving out information that can help. You basically have told someone, and this ain't gonna stay up long. I'm letting y'all know now. This ain't gonna stay up on Facebook. It's not gonna stay up on YouTube. It's not gonna stay up long, right? Because this one is going inside one of my courses, right? This one, right? Because value for the coaches and value for the parents, right?
For sure.
But you gave it to us. Yeah. But now we can bump our heads and we can do it all on our own, right? Because it's what you're talking about, right? I had to get somebody to create the actual cover, right?
Yep.
The font, the pictures, you know, and then the format on the inside. I had to pay somebody to proofread it, to edit it, you know, and then I had to know the specs, right? Because this is one of my original books, right? And so this is a real life, right? You see that, right? That's real me doing it on my own, right? Because I had to get the ISBN number, but because it was formatted to the wrong platform, so it was an overlay, right? So I'm all these. Okay, I gotta recalibrate. I gotta do it over. I gotta change. So I went through all those bumps. And even with the second one is a little bit better because I had those notes that I could follow. Right. But you're giving them over 20 years of experience.
For sure.
Just follow.
For sure.
So now they can bump their head.
No.
Or they can pay for it to run smooth while they're still coaching their team. Right? Most coaches say, man, I can't, you know, I got a buddy that's been writing a book. A mentor of mine been writing this book for like 3 years now. Yeah. And he started before I started this first one. Right. And I always try to get him, man, coach, you ain't wrote that book, man, I'm getting on. I got some more to do. But you literally gave to us how to do it without somebody figuring, okay, man, I got writer's block.
For sure.
Writer's block and just speaking stories is totally different.
For sure. I gave you the shortcut. You can get it done this weekend. Nobody has excuse after watching this to not get
Nobody.
the book done this
Nobody.
weekend. I
Nobody.
just told you
Nobody.
exactly how to do it. And man,
Nobody.
that is the cheat code. And like you said,
Right.
you can take advantage of all of my mistakes. I made a
Yeah.
bunch of mistakes
Yeah.
on my first book. And I live by this though. You don't have to get it right. You just got to get it going. Once you get it going, you can always improve upon it.
There
So
you
don't be
go.
afraid of the mistakes, even if you're going to make some.
Yeah.
And like you said, getting with a coach or getting with an expert will shortcut the process, save you a lot of time, save you a lot
Yeah.
of money. So that's
Yeah.
why it's very important.
Absolutely, man. Dunn is, as one of our coaches, Markwell Russell, client attraction, man, university, big
Yeah,
ups to them, but done is better than perfect,
for sure.
and, again, you're a coach that has a coach,
For sure.
have a few coaches
Yeah.
that's teaching you the secrets, right? So you're investing into you by investing into coaches who have invested into coaches that have invested into coaches. So ultimately, your coach is giving you what their coach is giving them,
Yep.
not being selfish. So it trickles down, right? This is the same thing with me. The things that we incorporate is
Yeah.
from the things that I'm learning and have learned, and then we give it back. So now I'm ready. This all makes sense. I'm be up on rev.com. How do I contact Kelly Cole?
Yep. So if you're an athlete or a coach, just go to booksforathletes.com. Enter your best email address.
Is that a four or that's four? The word
FOR,
for.
just like it's on my
Yeah.
shirt. FOR, booksforathletes.com. As it says, it's time to write your story. But yep, just go right there. You can plug it in. Simple way. If you're on social media, I am at Mr. Kelly Cole. You can connect with me. I respond to DMs and all of that. That is
Yeah.
all of my contact at Mr. Kelly Cole. You go to booksforathletes.com.
Cool. So at Mr. Kelly Cole, that's on all social media platforms for the most part.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Instagram. No
Yeah.
period though. No period. Just one.
Oh, okay. 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 So no peer. So y'all can fix that. Y'all understand what we saying. Because if you see it here, then you can hear it because it ain't going to be up long. There you go. Mr. Kelly Cole, right?
At
No
Mr. Kelly
period,
Cole.
right? At Mr. Kelly Cole. And
Yeah.
then booksforathletes.com. Yep, y'all go. Again, if you are a coach and you got that story, let's get that book out, right? And now we're helping change the landscape of the sport, Kelly,
Yep.
because more coaches can be educated.
For sure.
Coaches say all the time, I stole this, I stole that. Well, the experienced coaches say, hey, we don't even say steal because everybody uses everybody's everything.
For sure.
But they can't use it if you don't put it out, right?
Definitely.
And now by putting it out, somebody can say, man, I got this from Coach Bailey, right? It may be 30 years ago, right? I got this from Coach Bailey.
Yeah.
It's still living on and on and on, right? So yeah, definitely, y'all go there, right? Again, www.booksforathletes.com. If you want to reach out to Mr. Kelly Cole, right, at Mr. Kelly Cole on all social media platforms. Now, if you want to we actually got the book bundle the way you get both of these books as well as over 20 hours, right, of our first 2 seasons of this show, right? And so you can get that at bit.ly, bit.ly/B2BSD Performance, B2BSD Performance, or you can just go to carvelbailey.com/books, all right? And get it there and, definitely increase your personal development, increase your professional development. And that's how we can help increase and push the right values, right? The right values that we need to get pushed out to those in society. So, Mr. Kelly Cole, man, the publisher, man, I appreciate you, from top down, right? I appreciate you taking the time to come on here, man, and really, really, bless us, really, really having a conversation. I learned a lot. And it's about 5 more in me, so, I'm coming to you definitely. And, we've, talked about it, but you don't know it, but I'm serious. We need to put that together, right? Because I'm already there, but you got that instant email, from up high, and I got, some ideas too, but definitely, let's, get that down, man, and put that in place. But I appreciate you. I just wanted to add value to, we always talk basketball, but I wanted to, how can I start to add a little bit more value to the parents, other than just telling them what they should do, what they shouldn't do, but how can I add value to them? And then how can I add a little bit more value to the coaches, right? Because even if they're not feeling as worthy or as appreciated as they should, because, coaching is grueling, man. They may get paid stipends, may get paid this or that, but, at the end of the day, coaches are really business owners.
For sure.
And they have to understand how to rep their brand.
For sure.
And that's what tonight's show is about.
Definitely. Yeah. Hope they run with it, because we gave them the tools, man. Because like you said, they are business owners, and they could be using their time when they're not coaching to be giving speaking engagements, to be putting on their own events, virtual or in person. There's so many different things that a book will lead to.
Yeah, man. Mr. Cole, I appreciate you. Immensely. I'm gonna leave this up for about 24 hours. I'm gonna let y'all know by 8 o'clock Central Time tomorrow. It's gonna be down. I'm letting you know right now, and it's going in our vault for our clients. So again, if you have a book inside you, reach out to Mr. Kelly Cole. If you know that your athlete needs to improve their recruitment stock, and you know that your athlete, the same way that you may have that book inside you, but you know that your athlete has greatness inside of them, and they just need to be able to really understand the game better, that awareness that Kelly was talking about, being more aware of who they are, how they respond, so that ultimately they can be a good fit, then definitely reach out to us, and let's see how they can become a part of Hoops Mastery University. And if you haven't checked out our free case study, then that's a free gift for everybody that has watched the show tonight. Definitely go to www.beatitRightRecruit.com. You see it along the scroll of the ticker, and go check out my free case study video. And, if you would like for me and my team's help to be able to work with your athlete to get them to that recruitment success, even applying some of those strategies that we talked about tonight, then you can schedule, call with us, book a call with us, and we can hop on the phone and see how we can help, man. But Kelly, man, all the way from, the shot, I definitely appreciate you, man. Any closing words on, to the coaches, to the parents of basketball players on why they need a book? Anything else? Any closing words?
Yeah, so remember what I said, man. A coach or speaker without a book is like a business without a cash register. I just told you, if you are a coach, you are running a business. By not having a book, you're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. Guaranteed. I guarantee you that. I have case studies to prove why I made $100,000 in one day from simply having a book. It started with a book. And last thing I do want to say, I'm glad you asked me this question. Remember in the beginning of my story where I told you I almost ended up homeless, where I couldn't pay rent for 7 months and all of that? Listen to me. Last year, I not only bought that house that my landlord almost kicked me out of, I bought the landlord's house, the lot next to it, and the lot behind it. And it all started with that one book. So get your book done.
Hey, we gonna end on that, man. So as I always say, keep striving for the top, y'all. Keep striving for the top, because it is crowded as hell at the bottom.
Yes, sir.
All right. So on behalf of Mr. Kelly Cole, the publisher, and Publishing Advantage Group, I am Coach Carvel Bailey with Bless the Ball Consulting Group, and we will see you all on the next one. All right, so y'all be good, and we will talk to y'all next time. Peace.